Hello, everybody. My name is Drew. I'm the student organization consultant, or one of the student organization consultants with the Office of Student Life. And today I'm going to be showing you how to fill out an event form and reserve an event for your organization. So to start, you're going to go to Victor's link right here, and you should see your organization should be under here under memberships. So go ahead and click your organizations. For the purpose of this training, I'm just going to go ahead and click the Michigan Journal. Once you get to your orgs page, you should see manage organization in the top right. So go ahead and click that. Now, Victor's link is currently undergoing a update. So for some of you, it might look a little bit different than for others. So I'm going to try and go over how to do it for both ways to the best of my ability. So regardless of how your Victor's link looks, you should have 3 horizontal lines here in the top left. So go ahead and click those. If you have like the older version of Victor's link, on the left side here, you should see something that says events. So go ahead and click that, and that'll take you to the events page that I will get to in a second here. If you do have the update, like I do right now, you want to scroll down and find your organization here under memberships. So like I said, I clicked the Michigan Journal. So Michigan Journal is right here. You'll then see all the different admin manage features for your orgs page. So like roster, about, homepage, news, anything like that. So if you want to touch on any of those tabs, you just go ahead and click the settings gear right here. But since we are doing events, I'm going to click the settings gear for events, and I'll take you to the events page. So regardless of whether you have the updated version of Victor's link yet or not, it should take you to this page or something that looks like this page regardless. So now that we're here, this is the main events page for your organization. So you should see, if you have had previous events, you should see all of the events appear like this. Obviously, Michigan Journal has not had events in quite some time. But then if you've had no events ever, it'll just be like a blank page. But it's kind of cool because you can see all the old events if you want to get like ideas for future events. It's also just good for like tracking purposes, things like that. But for new events, you want to click the big create event button here in the top right. And this is the event form. And for the most part, it's pretty basic to fill out. So I'm just going to go ahead and just quickly fill out all this stuff as quickly as I can. But you want to put like the event title for your event, pick a theme. So based on what your event is for, you'll want to just pick a theme or pick a category that best fits it. So since we're doing this was for the Go Blue Bash, we'll just click social, and then just put like a brief description of what the event is. You want to make sure you are as specific as possible with the description, but not like, just don't make it too long. Just so when we go in and approve the events, we know exactly what your event is for, rather than having to kind of, if you have it be vague, then we kind of have to be detectives and try and figure out what exactly the event is for. If you have any organizations that are co-hosting the event, so like for this example, so this is for the Michigan Journal, if we were partnering with the WUMD radio station for this event, I want to put in WUMD, and they would show up like this, and then you can add them here. So this is for if you have any like co-sponsorship, co-events, any co-orgs that are also doing your event with you, you want to make sure you put them here in the additional organization spot. Additionally, the next big part is the time and place. So this part is pretty easy to do. Just put the date, make sure you put the right date for both the start date and the end date, and then put the correct time. We do encourage you to be, we have like access to the facilities hours sheets for each of the buildings. It is online. So we do encourage that you check that out before you submit for an event. So just so you know exactly what time the rooms are available and what time the buildings are open. But yeah, and that just kind of speeds things up during the approval process. But more importantly is the location part. So this is for both in-person or virtual events. It's the same form you fill out. So if you are having like an in-person event, go ahead and click location, and then just put whatever location you're looking for. So whatever room you're trying to get, whatever space you're trying to get, you want to make sure you're as specific as possible. So don't just put University Center, or don't just put University of Michigan Dearborn. You want to make sure you put the actual building and the room. So for example, UC 1227. So for this event, this fake event I'm doing, I want UC 1227. Make sure you put UC 1227, just so when we go in to approve the event, we know exactly what room, what building you want. It just kind of speeds up the whole process because we won't have to go back and forth. If you just put U of M Dearborn, we're gonna have to go back and forth and try and figure out what exact room you want. So by being as specific as possible here in the location spot really helps you get your event it really helps get your event approved as quickly as possible. So we recommend being as specific as possible. If you want UC stage, put UC stage. If you want Fairlane Center South 180, put Fairlane Center South 180, and just put Fairlane. Just like I said, it really helps speed up the process a lot because you don't have to go back and forth trying to figure out what room is available and what room you want. And this would be the same thing for off-campus events as well. You can just put, for example, I know Honora recently had an event at Zap Zone, so you just put Zap Zone and then put the address for Zap Zone down here. For an event like this, where you're looking for UC 1227, you just put the university's address, which you can find on Google. It's pretty easy to find the address for the university. But yeah, that is for in-person events. And then you click save. I click cancel just so I can show you how to do the online location. So for online location, you click online location, and then you just include any instructions that might be needed for your Zoom link. So if you have like a passcode, if you have anything like that, make sure you kind of put information on that here. If it's just as simple as click the link below to join, just click the link below to join. And then you really, most importantly, you want to make sure you do include a Zoom link or something down, or a Google Meet link or a Jackbox Games link or anything like that down here, just so people have some way to join your meeting once it's going. So I'm just going to make this an online event. And then you click save, and then that's my location. So it'll show up like that. And then additionally, if you have like general meetings or something that you know is going to be like recurring, like a weekly thing, you can go ahead and click add another date, and it does. So then rather than having to submit like 10 different forms for like general meetings, you can just add them all onto this one sheet. So then it just kind of keeps recurring. So that's another neat feature on Victor's Link. And then you want to make sure that you have it shown to the public. If you want to include any like additional categories, if there's any like free food, free stuff at your event, you can select perks that can kind of be an incentive for more people to show up for the event. And then this is just some things that you will have to go over for the event. So since mine is an online event, I'm just making sure that's exclusively an online event, but you want to make sure you go through these and make sure you choose the one that's best suited for your event. And then mine's not going to have food. That's not applicable. And this is just because for the food part, it's because there's a lot of restrictions and policies around food at events. So if you do have food, you want to make sure you read these very carefully and answer them as honestly as possible. You can go ahead and click next. And this is for RSVP. If you do have some sort of like strict RSVP, you can set that most of the times, or just keep it open to anyone. So I'm going to keep mine open to anyone as well. And these are just, if you have any RSVP things, you can add questions, anything like that is on this page, but it's pretty easy to do. And then post-event feedback. This is if you want any sort of like attendance tracking, evaluation questions, anything like that. If you want people to like share what they thought of your event, you can add them here. You can also add the questions here, but that's really it for that. This is in case you want to include a cover photo so if you have like a flyer or some sort of promotional thing that you want to display for your event or your meeting, you can add that right here. It kind of explains to you how to do it here. And then once you get that, you can either skip it. So I'm not going to add a picture right now, so I'm just going to skip it. But if you do add a photo, then you'll just go ahead and click next. And then there are custom fields that you can complete if you want, but we can go over those real quick. This is just for basic event details. So if you do have catering, there's additional questions you'll have to answer. So affiliation, so I'm a student organization. I'm not going to have any catering services. How many people will attend? I'll just put 50. I'm not requesting SOAC funding, but if you are requesting SOAC funding, you want to make sure you indicate that here on the form. Put a phone number in. Will there be children present? No, but again, if there are, you want to make sure you put yes and understand, because there's additional restrictions and stuff like that comes with that. Who will be attending? So mine would just be students, maybe faculty and staff and administration. And if you're speaking, are you seeking co-sponsorship for this event? I am not, but again, if you are, this would be kind of like going back to the first step of the events. If you are having a co-sponsor, if it's not just your org, You want to make sure you list those co-sponsors so people know who's there. And then this is also very important, is a backup date and location. So you want to make sure this is as specific as possible as well. So like I've requested UC 1227 for this event. So I'm going to also put UC 1225 and I'll put Fairlane Center South 180. And then for like dates, I'll just put I don't know, March 14th and April 21st. And these are just, you want to make sure you add these in there just in case. So like I tried to get UC 1227 for February 17th. Say, for example, it's not available that day. Or if it's UC 1227 is not available that day, but it is open on March 14th, then we can go in and be like, okay, so this date's not available, we can do your backup date. Again, it just, if you're as specific as possible, list as many backup dates and backup locations as possible, it really will speed up the rest of the process down the line. And trying to get your event approved as quickly as possible. So make sure you put as many backup dates and locations as you possibly can. But once you fill all that out, you can click next. And this is just room setup details. So if you do need some sort of table or equipment or anything like that, so I'm going to click not available since mine is an online event. So I don't need any of that. But if you do need classroom tables, banquet tables, anything like that, you want to make sure you list all that right here. Same with visual equipment. So if you need a projector, need a microphone, need a computer, need anything like that, make sure you put all those. But again, since I'm doing an online event, I go ahead and click none. And then this is important as well. So reserved rooms are open and available 1/2 hour before event start time and 1/2 hour after the end time. So if you do, that's just an important note to keep in mind. So if you get in a room at 6 o'clock, you can actually, it should be available and ready to go by 5:30. And then if your event goes from 6 to 7, it'll be available till 7:30 after the end time. But if you do need any additional access, like earlier than that or later than that, you want to make sure you put it here. So then you can go in and see if that would be possible for you to come in early or stay a little bit later to like help set up or clean up or stuff like that. But once you fill all that out, click next. And this is important as well. So you do want to make sure you put your student organization's short code number. So I don't know, I'm just putting numbers in right now, and then put all my information here. Also, yeah, so for the short code, it's important to put that down because when UUE goes in, even if you aren't getting paid or even if you aren't paying for anything, UUE uses that short code to kind of keep track of who's reserving spaces and events and everything like that. And then if you are paying for something that, as in like catering or food or anything like that, you want to make sure you put your short code in there because it helps. Again, helps us when we're doing charging or when we're charging or when we just need that so we can easily charge it, and it speeds up the whole process because we don't have to keep asking you for your short code or anything like that. So then you just go ahead and put in all your information there. And then if you are the person that's the main contact, which I guess I will be for the purpose of this training, you go ahead and click yes. If you're not, click no, and then make sure you put the name of the main contact that is there. And if you have any additional information for your event, there's where you would put that. Then go ahead and click next. And then just read these briefly. Make sure you click that you accept the conditions. Type your name. It's like a quote unquote signature. Click next again. And this is the final part. So if you do like want to make sure and go back and check, hey, did I do this? Did I do that right? Anything like that, you can go back and click each of these things. But then if you think everything's all set, you just go ahead and click submit, and then your event will be submitted for approval. So that's pretty much it for events. I know I kind of went through everything pretty quickly, but hopefully it was thorough. It's a nice resource for you to have as you go and approve or submit for approval of events. The form, it can be kind of intimidating at first, but once you get the hang of it, it is fairly easy to complete. But if you do have any additional questions or anything like that, please feel free to reach out to us at orderconsultants@umich.edu, and we can help you out through any questions or issues that you may be having. But that's it for this training. So thank you for watching, for listening, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day.